All right, welcome you all with me for this 505 in-person class at Manhattan. But we had a little bit of the issues, technical issues of our classrooms. So I'm not sure. Definitely when it comes to some technical complexity is needed, then we cannot stay here at Manhattan. Let me explain that, why that is needed. For example, we set up multiple server and clients and running, then each one should have different IPs, and those IPs needs to be forwarded and properly routed through the router. But the router installed publicly here at the university is tightly secured, so it doesn't allow us to routing within our subnetwork. But you can do that if you use your home router. So not only that, very similar things happens, then I'll ask you to stay home, and then we can still meet on Zoom so that you can work. You can use the router of your home on your own router, and I can use my router, my home, so that we can enable it. Otherwise, here at the university, we cannot do that. There is a reason we used to use our cybersecurity lab here in Manhattan, 425. But in this semester, all of my the Manhattan class in this semester were planned to meet in that cybersecurity lab, but the university, I realized that I didn't know they had some other special plan, but last week one organizer, one administrator came to me and they have another plan for that classrooms, so I cannot use that. What impact us? Therefore, we don't meet regularly, weekly, in person at Manhattan. So if I ask you to stay home and connect the Zoom, then you can do that. There is a sync. For those who cannot, I will anyway record. So recordings will be posted a few days later, so that you can catch up. Okay, so without further ado, are you Mohammed?
Sorry?
Are you Mohammed with me?
Yeah, this is my first class, but I'm here.
505, right?
Yeah,
Come.
object-oriented programming.
Yeah, right. Cybersecurity, right?
No cybersecurity.
Oh, yours is different? You are not here.
Okay, so
Okay. What is your program?
my program is computer science, but can you help me once, please, sir? So.
All right. To save time, I think I need to point out what you can do. Syllabus posted so that you can view it. But I'm going to point out something that you need to know. This, please do not skip. If you skip, then you will fall off immediately because this class is tech intensive course. This meeting room has been changed from even 405 to 414. So our meeting room is 414 now. Let's see, I'm going to update it. Here. What? 24 Supreme? 24. Okay, here. So this is not anymore 414. 405. MT414 as of September 9th, 2024. So this is the thing for 14. This is not for 405, not 425. And I am going to save this as PDF and update here. Okay, let me check once more. Yeah, okay, it is updated. So those who missed it today but wants to come and join us next week, from next week, we will meet at Manhattan 414. We're going to start. You have a question?
Yeah. So next week is not going to be online. We're going to be in person.
Yeah, we're going to meet here.
Okay.
Is it good to you, right? Because that's what you planned. All right. The grading, 50% from assignment. So you have to submit assignments completely well, then your grade will be okay. Participation 5%. We'll have 2 exams, midterm and final. Midterm 20%, final 25%. And let me move to the course schedule. We're going to start with, today we will look at overview and planning for the rest, for the semester. And from next week, we'll do, we have a database installation as well. So we'll have 2 homework assignments today. Okay, so installation of Python and database installation and startup. 2 things needs to be done, and therefore homework assignments will be, this homework is not hard, it's just installation. And I want to make sure that you guys are ready to continue to take this class. And from next week, as I planned earlier, this course review, the core technical concept of computer science. So 4 things will be discussed. Operating systems, database systems. I know, Kevin, you've taken most of those, right? But the content and the perspectives that we take for this short review may not be the same as the way that you looked at in the regular class. So this is a little different. As you look here, SQL and database systems, we complete within 3 weeks. Operating systems and database systems, so quick. After that, codings. We'll do codings maybe 4 weeks before midterm. After the midterm, maybe 2 weeks. Okay, then we're done. So starting with the operating systems, we will cover database systems and coding, and we'll end with the networkings. So did you take network also, Kevin?
Yeah.
Right. How much codings have you done? How much real building networks in the network?
For coding, I just took the.
No, networkings.
Oh, no.
When, yeah.
Obviously.
Usually don't do, right?
The computer side. No, the computer networking class.
Did you do real codings? Networking?
Coding and networking? No.
Right. Usually they don't do. I do not know why they don't. So you need to set up TCP You looked at the TCP and UDP, right?
Yeah, protocol.
But you didn't really actually
No.
handle it. So in what way that is a TCP, in what way that is a UDP. So you can set it up client and server for TCP server and UDP server, TCP client, UDP client. Therefore, you may be able to see clearly they behaves differently, right? Yeah, that type of things. All right, that's, so we have two exams, midterm and final exams. That is not online here. So you will take the exam with paper and pencil. All right, any question about the syllabus? No. All right. After that, all right. Course materials. Pedagogies. We'll do setup coding environment, web-based, Google Colab. So we will do how you can set up Google Colab. Kevin, when you took Python course, what IDE have you used? Jupyter, Google Colab,
I use the Python.
IDE, integrated development. No,
I use the what's it called? Python itself.
Python itself,
Yeah.
or small editor there.
The-
How did you edit Python?
We didn't use an IDE when we used it. Python. It was just Python.
Then Python prompt
Yeah.
and triple greater than sign. How do you make a file? Python files. Huh?
I need to review Python.
Okay.
And then,
So we'll do Python run Jupyter. Jupyter is a very popular the coding environment. But we're going to use Google Colab. And this is web-based. So we're going to work on web-based. At the same time, we do sometimes on your own platform. If you're working on Windows, you need to set up some IDE. The IDE that I recommend you is a Pyzo, Pyzo. I'll let you know how to install it and configurations as well. So today we'll do three things install and configurations. Google Colab, that's easy ones. Pyzo, not really hard. And also MySQL. By the way, Kevin, you took database systems, right?
yes.
So what DBMS did you use?
Microsoft Access.
I do not know why our department uses Microsoft
Yeah,
Access.
I didn't
That is a
really-
toy.
I didn't really learn that.
So we're going to use MySQL. MySQL is relatively better. A lot better than Microsoft Access. But relatively better means it is not like Oracle DBMS. Oracle, that is real business-oriented, high-volume transaction processing. But in the university level class materials do not require high volume transactions, right? We don't do. We simply do a little bit of emulations. So MySQL is enough to do that. Learning steps. You guys already took undergraduate levels, therefore you are accustomed to catch up how you can do. So first step that you need to do is to understand and then practice. And if you find something really that you would like to, then you can dive into deeper, okay? So we'll look at 4 things: databases, operating systems, encoding, and networking. Database systems, we can think of Oracle. That includes super high techs. Long time ago, maybe 15 or 20 years ago, I taught oracles in another universities. But here at Mercy, we don't do Oracle anymore because it is just more for computer science majors. So we'll look at MySQL. It is free, but it works very well. Okay, so each student should install MySQL on your laptop, Windows or Mac OS. Both are fine. Write SQL expression and run them on MySQL. Okay. Third bullet there, we may not do in this class. We can do Python code to include SQL so that when you execute Python, you can access database and get the result from database and do some visualization. That is real systems. If you go to banking systems, then there is a back-end databases, but in the front end, you don't see the database, but nice graphical user interface. That type of things can be done, for example, in Python. But we're not going to do that in this introductory level class. But in cybersecurity master's program, we have database systems course. There we will do real complicated and real world practices and hands-on labs, real developments. Operating systems that we will look at, Linux, Unix, Windows, OS X. But this class covers only basic theory and simple code to check. We can look at how do you access operating systems, for example, Kevin. When you take operating systems, which practical operating systems have you looked at? Windows, Linux, Mac OS, Ubuntu. That's a Linux, right? So on Linux, you can use a command line user interface, right? You issue the command on the prompt. That's what you do. Windows, we could do if we run on PowerShell. Mac OS, of course, Mac OS running over Linux. So on the terminal, we can get Linux command lines. But in this class, rather than using Linux command, we're going to use basic commands that can be handled from Python. Okay? So we'll stick to Python throughout this class. Whichever subject that we are considering, for example, operating systems, database systems, or networking, our main tool is Python. Okay, keep that in mind. Coding, of course, we will look at the codings. Conditional statements, iterative conditions, data formats, calling functions, object orientations, and more and more. Topics to learn. We'll look at basic statements and data structures, branchings, iterative, object orientations. You guys already looked at some of those, right? On that red box, considerations, how to improve it. I know you guys know a little bit, right? But if you want to join high-tech companies, then you need to expose that you are different from others. In other words, your tech skill levels should be improved. So how to improve? We have to think of efficiencies. How efficiently your code runs. Does it use lots of spaces? Or does it return to you quickly? The robustness of statements. Your coding statements needs to be stable and also secure. How to make your code secure. Finally, how to make it intelligent. Secure and intelligent programming, we have an undergraduate course. I know Kevin is taking with me. So there you can improve yours. This level, I want you to review, okay? Because you already know. But I want you to see how much you can do a little differently from different angle. Networking. This class covers basic concepts, protocols, and simple coding to access networks. Okay? So coding is simply we set up socket. Socket is one of the objects that you can build on your codings. What is a socket, by the way? We have IP address, right? IP address, therefore, where your laptop, each laptop here at the university has IP address, temporary IP address from the router. IP address points to your specific laptop. But when you run applications on your laptop, you may run multiple different applications. You can run, for example, app. You can run email. You can run, even for the web, you may have so many different tabs. You are connecting different web addresses. So each one of those has its own port. So once into your laptop, for each application, it has its own port. If you go to, for example, let's say, by the way, Kevin, what is your heritage?
Peruvian.
Huh?
Peru.
Puerto Rico?
Peru.
Oh, Peru. Oh, South America, right? Peru, you have how many seaports, how many airports? You have so many, right? I mean, more than one, right?
Yeah, more than one.
Right. Like in the US, how many seaports and airports? A lot, right? Same thing. Your laptop. Let's say this is America. How many ports? There are lots of seaports, lots of airports, lots of land ports also, right? We have south borders open. If you come to Texas border, New Mexico border, California border, Arizona border, different ports. So many ports. Same thing here. On your laptop, IP address points to if it is America, if it is Peru, if it is Argentina, if it is Japan, only that. You need the more specific ones, right? If you come to USA, are you going to come to New York Seaport or New York Airport? How many airports? Even airports? JFK, LaGuardia, Newark, and more surrounding in these areas. So that port needs to be specified. Same thing. Port needs to be specified. So IP address together with the port number, it is called the socket. Socket. Look at this. This wall. We have the electric outlets. Each one of this is called, in other words, socket. This is called the socket or layout. In other words. Okay. But anyway, there's a port. So we need to set up socket in our code. So once we have that, then I set up the sockets here on laptop, and I'll let you know. You can come to my laptop. I can give you my IP address and the port number. Then you can come here. How can you come to my laptop? You need a router. Router is somewhere between you and me, right? But our router blocked to do that.
Yeah.
Our router allowed if you come to router and go out. Any signals from outside come to router and directly go to some specific IP address and port number, it is allowed. But anything that we can do within our, if I want to attack from me, your laptop, not allowed. Okay. So when it comes to these networks, definitely we cannot meet here. Okay.
I have a question. So when you say when you make a socket, so when you share your IP report, is that like you're making your own network?
No, network is not our own. It's our own socket.
Okay.
Network we have to rely on.
Okay, so basically I'm just getting the address. Maybe.
Right,
Okay.
right. Okay. So MySQL. It works on Windows and Mac OS and Linux. So we have to set it up. Languages that we are using, SQL. So we'll look at next week. MySQL, oh, that's there. MySQL needs to be downloaded. You can download it from mysql.com, right? And you need to go to MySQL community. What is it says? MySQL community downloads. You need to download it from there. Let's see if you come to here.
You want to install it?
Oh yeah, you have to. Not right now, but I'll let you know. Here MySQL, and if you come here, downloads. This is being recorded, right? I hope. Let me check. Oh, good. It's being recorded. Come here. Then there is a MySQL community downloads. Okay. So click that. Then here, MySQL community server. Click on that. Then you need to do the version. This is a current version, 9.0.1. And the operating systems, Mac OS or Windows, you can select those. Then you can see the list of the available the packages. So you can download it and install. That's you can do, okay? Configuration, I can help you. Activation, I can help you. This we looked at already. Okay, so once you install it, then I'll show it to you. Then for Mac users, for Windows users, you don't need to. For Mac users, for Windows users, for Mac and Windows, the same thing. You need to find out where that MySQL is located. For Mac users, so MySQL is not being seen here. Therefore, if you come to here, terminals, okay, then MySQL is, as you install MySQL, one thing you have to keep in mind, I think that is I put here, keep the root password. This is very, very important. There's multiple steps that you install. At certain points, it asks you to enter the root password. When you enter root password, you have to write it somewhere, okay? Don't forget it. So root password is very, very important. So once you're done, then you need to go to the location where that MySQL is located. For Mac users, it is USR local, and then there is a MySQL. This is MySQL versions, right? I have from a few years ago, MySQL 8.0.28, 8.0.31, 8.3.0. Recent version is 9.0.1. So you have to change MySQL -9.0.1. Then you can see the bin directory here, binary directory. So cd bin, click MySQL. There are many MySQL versions. We look at this program, MySQL. So what you can do is there, on that location, /MySQL and minus U followed by your login ID for this MySQL. Initially, we had only the root. I installed already root. And then P, enter. Keep in mind root password so that you can have this prompt, MySQL prompt. Okay, that I said here on this slide. Once you have done that, you need to find out the location, /usr/local, and then I change another directory to here, so that I have now this location, and the activation of MySQL is ./MySQL -u root -p, hit enter, then it asks us to enter the password that you kept along the procedures of configurations. Okay, so use that and enter. Here I already entered here, enter password, therefore I have this prompt. So once you have that, then you can see show databases. Then I can see by default 4 databases already built and come with the installation. This is like catalog databases. These databases are not the application database. Databases contains some of the information that are needed to handle database itself. All the databases, it has all the commercial DBMS. When you install it, then it has a multiple databases already set. Those databases are not the databases that you can handle. Root can handle it. But if you modify it seriously, critically, then your DBMS may not running the way it was originally scheduled. But anyway, this much that we do, all details will be done from next week. Okay? So first homework is this. All right? So let me revise our course material, and there is another homework assignments. So homework 2. Actually, this should be homework 2 rather than homework 1, homework 2, because I already had a homework. This given to you 9/9/24. Install MySQL on your laptop and do lecture notes that we had, I think it is due date also a week from today, and then only 10 points because this is simple. So what you can see here, homework number 1, homework number 2. Homework number 1 is from the Google Colab, so we will look at that a little later. Homework number 2 is MySQL. Both due is by Sunday evening. For this, you have to, as I said, these lecture notes. You have to look at here 9/9/2024 lecture notes. On the last slide of that lecture notes, which is this, okay? So I want you to, just like this, show databases, select your name. So here, if you do select, your name is, let's see, and ending with the semicolon, then this is yours. And here, as I think, then you can say attribute name is name, value is this. All right.
So that's
After you this, you can make screen copy and submit it.
So when you do select, can you as name, you're creating a directory?
No, this is a simple.
Oh.
Didn't make anything at all.
Okay.
Right? It didn't make. That's a good question, but we'll do that. Right. Selection doesn't affect the database.
Okay.
Selection is only retrieve. If you create database, create table, insert some data, then it affects databases. After you do that, and the last step that you want to make it persistent, that you need to say commit. By committing, all the effects, all the states that you made can be permanently stored on your databases. Selection is only reading.
Okay.
So this is simply reading, but I want to make sure that you are ready, right? It doesn't do any tech yet. Okay, this is a homework number 2. As I said, should be number 2. And next one is how, when it comes to coding, Google Colab. What should we do? This is Google Colab. IPYNB. NB stands for notebook. PY Python. I think this is from Jupyter once. But anyway, the extension is called .ipynb and intro. You need to download this first into your local. This is downloaded. And I want you to open up one tab, and then you can practice together with me. This is a web-based, so it doesn't need any installation. There you need to do colab.research.google.com, Colab for collaboration, .research.google.com, and enter. Then you guys have this. You may not have. If you have this, cancel for a while. It says welcome to Colab. Here we welcome Colab and explain something about the Colab. Okay. Colab, we can. This table of contents, I can close this by clicking X. Then this is the real, usually the notebook. On top, we have menus. Menus that we are going to look at usually is a file. If you click File menu, 2 things that I want you to note. There's an upload notebook and then download. Upload and download. Download, then there is another drill down menu. Download.pynb, download.py. For your homework submission, I do not want you to submit. This is very, very important. I cannot grade it. .pynb is not graded. I want you to submit .py file. This is a Python file. When it comes to coding sessions of this class, we're going to learn Python. Extension of a Python file is .py. The other extension is only when you work on Google Notebook, right? That is not generic file extensions. So this one that we need to do. For this, we need to do upload first, okay? So you can upload, then you can do browse. By the way, this Google Colab, all the documents, where is it going to be stay?
Oh, I made a folder for the class.
Is it on your local space or somewhere?
Local.
No, it is not. If it is a local, then why should we have a download options? Why should we have an upload? Download, upload menu was there because all the files that we work on here on Google Colab, it's not on our laptop. It is on the Google. When you have a Google, you have a Google account. Therefore, Google Colab is provided to you. When you have a Google account, then you have a Google Drive, right? Kevin, you have a Google Drive, right?
Yeah.
I know some students, Google Drive, there's a disk quota, maximum, unless you buy it. I purchased the Google Drive. I think every month I pay tens of dollars. I have so many subscriptions. Space, Google, OpenAI, ChatGPT and OpenAI is different. ChatGPT I need to pay. OpenAI I have to pay. With OpenAI I can do programming. We'll do a little bit in this class, although we do not have enough time. And then I have a Mac. Total, some hundreds. Each every month. If I don't do that, I do not have backup. From my experience, all of a sudden, my laptop died. What that means to me, I lost all of my work, right? So if we have some subscriptions to some other clouding servers, then, but anyway. So I already downloaded, right? Remember that from my Blackboard, I clicked the course material that I posted. It downloaded here, downloaded once. Remember, this is the one that I downloaded. This is recently, today. So I click this and open. Then this is the notebook that I made for you. IASP 505 Python, lab 0, not even lab number 1. Descriptions. This lab guides you to use the web-based Jupyter for Python codings. You need to save your homework in plain text .py format. Warning, clean the files to contain plain text Python code only before submit it. So this notebook explains. This is the first step that you learned, right? This notebook consists of 2 components, code or text. Remember that? My mouse, code or text. This is a text part. And then I have lab structure. This is a small lab. I have a part 1 and part 2. How to use Google Colab, how to save homeworks. Only 2 things. If you click this and come here, part 1. See here, if you move your mouse somewhere here, then you can see code and text. Do you have this? Move your mouse in the center, somewhere, anywhere. If you come here, then on the very first, on top, you can have also code or text. Scrolling down, a little after that, part 1, somewhere here, then you can see code and text. Actually, this is a text. So if you put text, then you can see, hey, you can type it. Something like this. Then this on the left side, this is editor. On the right hand side, this is the preview. The one that I typed can be seen here on the right hand side. So there are 2 lines on my editor, but 1 line there. if you want to make space between hello Kevin and the next sentence, then you hit enter, make a space so that you can have this. Very nicely, you can see simultaneously the way that you can type, you can verify how it appears, how it displayed. Once you have done, then on the right side, this preview side, double click, then it disappears. This is text. All the text is the text that I made, just like that. And this is the image that I saved. Remember, this is the image, lab 0 code and text. That is here. This is I saved here, cheat sheets, Google Colab basics. If you want to learn something about Google Colab basic, then you can click on this, cheat sheets. Then you can see the Google Colab basics. Some of the things. This is another notebook. This is a previous notebook. Part 1, therefore you can create code, you can create text. Somewhere here, practice 1.1, write your text below so that you can do your text. Practice 1.2, write your code below. This is something that I made. Remember that here, if you click code, Kevin, if you click code here, then you can make a code and you have a line number. You can do print it's like a Jupyter. If you want to run this, then you click this on the right corner, there is a triangle, click that, then it runs. So this is outcome. Print statement, therefore you can see the output from that print. Hello Kevin, right? You can do more. Oops. More to come. Click that and you can see hello Kevin, more to come. So this is very similar to whichever IDE that you use. If you have Python experience, you can do that. If you do not have, that's okay. This is a class that you need to gain the skills. So this is a coding. Okay. In a nutshell, Google Colab Notebook consists of two things: text and code. Okay, you can make some text statements and you can open up the code and code there. So file itself can be the combination of text and code, right? Text and code in a .py files. That is the reason I asked, if you want to submit, I want you to submit plain text Python code only. But whatever you work on here, Google Colab, it can be mixed together, code and text. I wanted to remove unnecessary text. Text is unnecessary. Okay, so this is a Google Colab notebook. Saving, in order to save, therefore you can submit it. As I said, the Google Colab notebook is not on your local machine. That is your Google Drive. So you have to download it onto your laptop. Therefore, you can save yours. Okay, after this semester, then you still keep the Python files or .py notebooks, whichever convenient for you. So you can download it. I want to, for the purpose of submission, I want you to download the .py files. Okay, so .py files, py files there, but because the notebook consists of text and code together, sometimes you may have an error if you do Python interpretations. if your Python code has an error, then you will have 0 credits. To avoid that, I want you to make sure your file is executable by removing all unnecessary text components. So we'll practice that. Okay, so for example, if I download this is a .py NB files. Here, download .py files. So I downloaded it. And when I come here, download, then $12.29, okay, I have here getting ready students.py. I save it in the py files. Is it really py files? I want to see it, right? What is the size of that? 1.1 gigabytes. We didn't much of the code. We have only 2 statements print. But the size of the code is 1.1 megabytes. If you want to see this, see how big it is. By the way, there are a lot of others. Is this plain text? If we rerun this Python, then definitely there is an error, right? Why we have that? That's because we have these images. We have that images, right? So remove that. That should be removed. Okay. Now, then what should we do? Next one is, I want you to install your local Python IDE. What is the name of that? Pyzo, pyzo.org. This is a lightweight IDE. This is not really heavy-duty, complicated IDE. This is a very, very, very simple IDE, lightweight. So click on Quick Start. You can install in 2 ways or 3 ways. For Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. For Windows users, you need to download here Pyzo installer. For Mac OS, you can download the DMG files for ARM processor. If you are holding MacBook M1 processor or M2 processor, then it'll be ARM64. Older version of a MacBook, then that is Intel processor. So that is x86 or x64, whichever applicable. If you click this, for example, Pyzo, then it is downloaded, right? I have here. So you have, I already have somewhere there for you. There's number 1 here. I do not want to this. Trash. So once you download the Pyzo, 2 things that you have to download: Pyzo and Python. Go to python.org. I want you to download here, download button. But Python.org is a little bit more intelligent than Pyzo. Therefore, it identifies my laptop quickly. So my laptop is a Mac OS. It showed me download for Mac OS only. But if you are working on Windows, Kevin, are you with me right now?
Yeah.
Then yours is Windows, right? Yeah. Download for Windows. So click that and you can download the Python 3.12.6. Download it by double click that the packages so that you can download or you can install. So 2 things that you have to install: Pyzo and Python. Okay? Pyzo and Python. You can do that on your own. So once you have successful installations of those 2 packages, Pyzo and Python, here's what you need to do. Come to applications, then you don't need to do Python itself. You need to make sure that there is a Pyzo. I have a Pyzo here. So click on that Pyzo. By the way, I have already something there. So I have multiple tabs here. Each tab here is a Python files. I have multiple other files there. But here is new editor. This is the shell, as you can see here, shell. So this shows me, this is like a command terminals. Python 3.10.4. Okay. Remember that we downloaded the 3.12. Something, right? At the very first time, you have nothing. Not like this. Then you need to do here, on the shell, there is a Python button. Look here, Python button. If you click that, then two menus are available. Edit shell and new shell. Here is a new shell, means we can have a multiple different versions of Pythons available. So that you can run one version of a Python, and next time you can switch to another version. You can move up the version, you can go down the versions of your Python, depending upon your application. So I have a multiple right now. Look here, I have this many Pythons available. Those are, the Pythons can be edited here, the first menu here. Edit shell configuration. Click on that. Then I have those tabs. Remember that here, Python 3.12 and new tab, and see here, new tab. Then you can see new shell, then there's a new tab, new PY. This name new PY comes from this tab. Okay. Each one of these, if you see this, then there's a different configuration. Python 3.11, then we have Python 3.11 somewhere here. New PY, then here somewhere Python 3.12. This is also Python 3.12. But if you want to somehow remove, you can remove that. This tab, this version, because I have twice, I don't need this. Then bring down your scrolls bar so that you can see button to delete. I do not have new tab here. At the very first, you have nothing of this. Then you need to add. Click on this add. And then you need to name the tab. So I can say Py 505 for this class, 505. Okay. This is a name. This is just a label. This is not actual Python. This label needs to link to the actual Python. That is here, exe. Executable Python needs to be bound together with this label. Here in this text field, toward the end of the text field, then there is a triangle. Click that. Then you can see the list of Python available on your laptop. So, as I said, before you configure this Pyzo, you have to download the Python and install it. If it is successfully installed, then this Pyzo can pick it up. So we have 12.5, 3.12.5, right? So choose one of these and click that it can be filled in this text field. If you click done, then this label and actual Python can be together. So I click on done button. And I'll come back here, Python again. New shell, because I can switch to the shell. Then look at here. PY505. That is just to be created, right? So if you click this, then you can see the new versions of Python. Let me click this. Look at this. Python 3.12.5. This is the version of the Python that I switched to. And that is the version that I just downloaded and installed, right? All right. So Pyzo is ready with the Python. Now, the last thing that we need to do, somewhere here, I need to now bring up homework. Remember that here, Mercy 505. Well, before we do that, I have here homework 1. Homework 1 has a file. This is a .py NB files, right? You have to click and download it. Click, and then you can come to here, download. I can see here homework 1 for 505. So come back here on the file. I want to upload the one that I just downloaded. Here, that is 505 homework 1. Open. This is homework 1. Okay. 505 homework 1, getting ready for the class. And then to do. You have to run this. I want you to, here, the homework, this homework has a multiple coding list. What I ask you to do, no, this is not Monday, this is 15. I forgot to say here, I want you to, what you need to do. What you need to do here, not just to run, yeah, I said it here. Proper comment only. I want to change this for you to double click this, then you can see somewhere here. And problem submission is 5, and Python code here. What you need to do. So I would say what you need to do is that is what you need to do, okay? As I said, give as many comments as necessary into the coding list. So here you have to do code, your comments is print displays the string. String is my name is John Yoon. So if you click this, I want to click and paste. Okay. Originally this shouldn't be there. So I want to click this. I want to put your comments as you guess. Okay, you guys. I do not assume that you have a Python, although I know Kevin has an experience Python, but the comment here, this is a comment, which means this is not evaluated when you run this Python. It runs only this, as you can see here. So as you look this, I want you to see what it is, okay? We'll look at that, all details. But I want you to click this and see some taste of Python. Look at this, see how much that you can guess. And look at the code first and try to see what it means. And as you run this, I want you to taste of this coding list. It's not mandatory, but I want you to see how Python runs and how Python code consists of throughout this whole. Some of the cheat sheets I appended. So if you click this, then you can see print, split, format, strip, some of those. And I think you have also input so that I can see I want to make more. You will have input, and here okay. So if you click this input, remember that I have an input here, right? Input is a function. So cheat sheet, if you click this input, go there. Oops, input is not there. Output. This is input, so that I can copy and paste here. So if you click this input, go there, then you can see the input. What input function is, this guy explains some of those, and come back here and see how that input behaves on your code. Okay. So what is the problem here? You run this and give comments. I do not expect you know much. I don't count that. What I count is if you save this properly, look at this, download and .py. So you can be here, there is a .py. I want you to bring that on your Pyzo. This is Pyzo. So you can, what you can do, this is your Python, right? We downloaded it. We converted it from Google Colab. Bring that down here. This is your Google. Remember, this is a thing that we looked at. Remember, this is the print statements, and this is the comment that we made. Okay, this is a Python files, but I want you to make sure this is executable. So if you have this, then you can run this by run as script. This means control and enter for Windows. So here on this prompt, if you hit control and enter, or for Mac users, command button and return, hit enter. Then it says, what is your name? You can see John Yoon, and your name is John Yoon. What is your name? I can say Yoon, John. Still, this guy picked up. Even if I entered it this way, this guy somehow processed internally and shows John Yoon, right? And if I do some, then see here. Now you can see this is not right. Why this happens? Because this guy contains something that necessary. This is not necessary, right? Anything that here black or brown, then that is brown is comment and black is the code. Anything in this sky blue, then that is unnecessary statements. So if you delete that, and I want to delete this also, and I want to delete this, and I want to delete this, and finally delete all of this, then I have this code. What that means here, this code is the thing is, right? I have, my name is John Yoon, this is the first one, and second one here, first name, last name, this is my code, and another code, only coding list that I can see here. All in, some of the text removed, can be removed from Pyzo very easily. And then finally you can save this. You can save this, save as, and you can do, you need to find out where you want to save. Then you to go to 505, and then somewhere in class, and I can make a new folder, 424. There I want to say homework 1. This is homework 1, and then extension is automatically. If you're working on this Pyzo, then automatically that is a .py files. You don't have to worry about. So it'll be homework1.py. Save that. And when I come to 505, here 505, and in class 424, then I have homework1.py. This one needs to be submitted. So go back here if you want to submit it. Click that. My version, my Blackboard does not show the Dropbox because instructor doesn't use the Dropbox. But on your Blackboard, if you click this, then you can see some of the Dropbox. You can include your homework one from that location into your Blackboard, and then that is your submissions. Any question about this whole long procedures that I introduced? So you have what we did today. We installed MySQL first, right? That's what we will do from next week. For 3 weeks, we are going to work on MySQL. After that, we'll do codings. So coding, usually we're going to work on .pynb in Google Colab. Of course, I give you IPynb files, so you can bring up and we can work together, play together. Because Google Colab is very handy, very, very user-friendly. You simply click. You can test the command very quickly. Not only that, you may not get the full benefits from Google Colab while you are taking this 505, but a little more advanced course, if you need to run on GPU in addition to CPU, do you have a GPU installed on your laptop?
Yeah.
Oh, you have GPUs? Oh, you're a rich guy. GPU is expensive, right?
Yeah.
Right. So GPU is free when you, as far as you are working on Google Colabs. Let me show it to you. See here, RAM, there is a memory, and disk, if you click here, then, oops, where can I see here? Not files. Somewhere here, maybe runtime. Setting. I know that's there we can handle this. Is it here? Change the number of time, connect to local runtime, manage the session, connect to hosted runtime. Is this not? Okay, somewhere here. Anyway, we can request the GPU and CPU. That is for free. I forgot where it is. Rename, save, print, edit, view. Runtime type. Oh, here. Whether we want to do CPU, GPU, TPU, this is a tensor processor unit, which is for machine learning tensor. We can click that, or we don't need to do. CPU is enough for this Pythons. But anyway, so okay, again, MySQL installed. So from next week, we're going to work on MySQL databases for 3 weeks. After that, come back to codings. We're going to work on Google Colab, so that usually I provide you .ipy NB files, we can do some of the lab works practice on that Google Colab, followed by the homework assignments. Homework assignments, sometimes I can include in the main the notebook, or sometimes like today, separately you can see the homework notebook in addition to the main lecture notebook. If they are combined that I provided to you, then I indicated that this is a homework, this is homework number 1, 2, 3, 4. In that case, definitely you have to remove all the lecture notes from the .py files before you submit it. I do not want you to submit the coding list that we worked on in class. I want to submit only the coding list that you are on due, okay? That's what we do. Any question? I know this is too much. First week, hectic, because you have to install MySQL, Pyzo, Python, and the configuration. I want you to do that because I ask you to do the homeworks, 2 homeworks. Do that, and I'll see you next week. Our classroom is Manhattan 414. I'll see you next week.